This is Raw on Netflix July 21, 2025 full show results video which takes place at Toyota Center Houston, Texas. When Judgment Day get out of their SUV, AJ Styles is there to be their valet. Dominic Mysterio claims harassment but AJ says he's just working as a valet and he hopes Dom gets cleared today before throwing their keys clean over his shoulder. CM Punk makes his entrance and gets on the mic and says when he came back he had a couple of goals, main event WrestleMania and become WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and he's done one of those. Last week he won a gauntlet match and now he can challenge Gunther, who is one of the best wrestlers in the world. He's looked very forward to lacing him up and locking up with him, and he can't promise a win, but with the crowd behind him cheering and hand to the screen if you're watching at home and you're gonna be at SummerSlam, he will leave it all in the ring, he will not quit, and he will give everything he's got. He sees Gunther and he sees a man with a record 666 days Intercontinental Championship reign and in his second World Heavyweight Championship reign, and he was worried, but then he remembered he's got this, he's prepared, he's CM Punk. He's not any other wrestler, any other challenger, he is the best in the world. Gunther makes his entrance then, and says Punk has a massive ego and the people chanted for him for 10 years and he doesn't blame him for it, but unlike him, Gunther's own massive ego is based not on the crowd, but on his results. Punk listed out his accolades for him and he says it's very simple, the best in the world is the man who holds the World Championship. And at SummerSlam, the bell will ring and he'll make CM Punk regret that he ever stepped foot into a pro wrestling ring. He's gonna push him around, choke him out, drop him like a wet towel and make him realize he'll never be a world champion again. But hey, at least he's got these degenerates chanting at him for the rest of his life. Then Gunther drops the mic and walks off. Stephanie Becker is being interviewed backstage and Naomi interrupts and she says she's going to win at SummerSlam and then she's gonna face her in Paris. Stephanie questions that she's gonna win the triple threat and Naomi says she's gonna beat Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, and since she wants to be like that, she notes that Io was dogwalking her and that she wouldn't put up with being beat like that. The next match happened between Rusev vs Sheamus, and the result of this match was Sheamus defeated Rusev by pinfall with a brogue kick. Byron Saxton interviews El Grande Americano and Americano answers in strangely European-inflected Spanish and Dragon Lee interrupts. Lee calls him fake and says he's disrespecting luchadors everywhere and he doesn't have the fire. Grande says soy un luchador and pie faces him and a brawl breaks out with road agents and referees immediately separate them. Back from commercial, Lyra Valkyria rolls up furious at Bayley for their tag title match tonight. Bayley cheerfully explains that she just wanted them to get the title shot they were supposed to have at WrestleMania. Lyra asks if she remembers that she hooped her ass last week and Bayley says that's water under the bridge and now is the time to focus on winning and she's glad she got the memo and wore matching gear. Then we saw a match between Creed Brothers vs Latino World Order vs New Day for the WWE World Tag Team Championship No. 1 contendership, and the result of this match was Latino World Order won the match by pinfall with a folding press from Joaquin Wilde on Kofi Kingston, becoming the No. 1 contenders to the WWE World Tag Team Championship. Backstage, Io Sky is hanging out with the Kabuki Warriors and they all wish each other luck. Kabukis leave and Stephanie Becker rolls up to say that when Io wins at SummerSlam, they'll find out who would really have won their match in Paris. Sky says she had her beat, Becker says they don't have to wait, and Io suggests having a match tonight, and Stephanie accepts the challenge. Back from commercial, Adam Pearce is talking to Dominic Mysterio and tells him to quit stalling. He's not cleared yet but he should be, and he should be fighting AJ Styles. Dom turns around to see AJ working as a janitor and begs off, saying he's still not cleared, then Styles tells him to get cleared and mops some, running into New Day. They freak out about everything going wrong and the simulation being broken and they need an edge. Grayson Waller rolls up and says Austin Theory is hurt, A-Town Down Under is over, and he's their ace in the hole and they're skeptical but he goes off and gets the car anyway. Becky Lynch makes her entrance and gets on the mic and says at Evolution she had the slickest win of all time. That's what people are saying, and she held people down but at least she's honest about it. Unlike Lyra Valkyria, who spent months crying that she's a thief of opportunities, but what is she doing now? She's bogarting WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship matches and now she's got a tag title match? Who needs two belts anyway? No, when she did it was groundbreaking but Valkyria is just being selfish, that ends now, she says, and she calls Lyra Valkyria on down. Lyra Valkyria comes, and Becky says they're 1-for-1 in singles competition and she's brought out the best in her and made her a star, but the free ride ends when the trilogy ends at SummerSlam, and she wants Lyra to accept a stipulation that if she loses at SummerSlam she'll never get to challenge Becky for the title again. Valkyria says she's thinking maybe her problem is that she never takes things far enough, so she accepts Lynch's stipulation. If she'll accept hers, no count out, no disqualification, there must be a winner. Becky accepts. Lyra says she'll see her at SummerSlam, and Lynch complains that she's been disrespected for months and she won't have this match disrespected any further. She once again says she's going to be the bigger person and asks Lyra to shake her hand. It's a trap, of course, but Valkyria ducks the cheap shot and hits a manhandle slam on the man, and she holds the title over her head. Then we saw a match between Bayley and Lyra. Valkyria versus Judgment Day for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. We see Dominic runs interference, handful of tights, but Bayley kicks out. Knee connects, both women are down, Lyra gets in Dom's face and Raquel fires a kick, Valkyria ducks and Rodriguez takes Dominic out with a big boot. Lyra blasts her with a dropkick through the ropes, Bayley ducks a lariat, spin-out collision in the middle of the ring, and both women are down. AJ Styles poses as a medic and gives Dominic CPR. Becky Lynch runs in and pulls Lyra off the apron and throws her into the steel steps. In the end, Roxanne lands on her feet off a suplex, blind tag, Bayley to belly takes her out, but Rodriguez hits one-arm powerbomb to Bayley, and retains the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship by pinfall. The next match happened between Karrion versus Sami Zayn. We see Scarlett gives Cross a steel pipe, Sami exploder suplex in the corner, Bordeaux passes him the pipe, he's fired up for the kick, but Scarlett runs interference so Cross can nail him with the pipe, and then Cross hits a shot to Sami's ribs, and won the match by pinfall. Post-match, Scarlett raises Karrion's hand as blood pours from his nose, and then Cross gives her a passionate kiss. Outside the trainer's office, AJ Styles and Adam Pearce are waiting for the medic's decision on Dom. Before the trainer can give them an answer, Mysterio blindsides Styles and says he'll see him at SummerSlam. The next match happened between Io Sky versus Stephanie Becker. To the apron, Becker drops a knee across her throat and follows it up with Devil's Kiss. Back inside, more Devil's Kiss, SBB countered with a facebreaker, cover for 2. Both women down and out, the Secret Hervice make their way to ringside for some reason, but Becker fights them off, but Chelsea Green attacks her from behind. Post-match, the babyfaces run Green and her Secret Hervice off and stand tall together until Naomi attacks Io from behind, shoving her into Stephanie, and Becker falls to the Secret Hervice's tender mercies. Naomi with mounted punches on Io, then Rhea Ripley makes the save. She cleans out Alba Fire and Piper Niven before taking it to Naomi and dropping her with a back suplex facebuster. Chelsea Green is alone in the ring, super kick, buzzsaw kick, pump handle, and delivered riptide. Back from commercial, Paul Heyman makes his entrance accompanied by the Braun in Braun connection of Braun Breaker and Big Bronson Reed. Heyman says before Roman Reigns comes out he's got a lot of things to get off his chest, and then Roman Reigns makes his entrance. Paul says he never wants to be disrespectful or rude, but the crowd is off to a bad start with him tonight. He apologizes to Roman and says they'll always be family and he loves his tribal chief. Roman says a few years ago he would have said Heyman asking him to lead was wise words from a wise man, but he's not a wise man anymore, he's just a dumbass. Bronson and Paul have to hold Braun back, and Reigns tells him to listen up and sit under the learning tree, write this down, because Heyman is gonna do the same thing to him he did to Roman. A few years from now, when Breaker is the man around here, Paul is gonna try to take credit for him, same as he tried to take credit for creating the tribal chief. He says he was the greatest champion to ever set foot in this ring, and Paul had a part in it, but he didn't have any part in him keeping the title. No, the Usos did, Solo Sikoa did, Sami Zayn even helped out. Roman says Paul was never part of their family before, he was just a business partner, but Roman made him part of the family, gave him responsibility, and he threw it all away. And for what? For his best friend he hadn't talked to in over a decade? Don't ever come out here and say Roman ruined the bloodline, no, this dumbass here did. Then Braun tells Roman to listen, he was relevant 5 years ago in his prime, but now he's just taking up a spot in Breaker's ring, and he knows Paul won't stab him in the back because he holds value in this place where Reigns is worthless. He's the big dog now, the top dog, the future of WWE and the man around here now, so Reigns should do what he does best now, turn around and leave. Then Reigns tosses his microphone at Breaker and rushes in to fight the good fight. He tries his best, but that damn numbers game wins out and Braun spears the tribal chief. They get Roman in position for the tsunami, but Jey Uso makes the save. Super kicks ahoy, stinger splash and an enzwajiri for Bronson, right hands and a haymaker for Braun, then stereo spear sends the heels packing, and the show goes off the air. How much you would rate this week's Monday Night Raw? Tell me in the comments, and thanks for watching.